Hello and welcome. I have a YouTube channel now. It's being MsDiva. You can listen to all the episodes on that. And you can also subscribe to it so you will not miss an episode. Have a blessed day. And once again, thank you for listening to my episode. Be blessed. Hello and welcome. I talked about the process in episode 11, and I want to talk about uh, being able to talk and express and release. I had a lot of anger in me. I had a lot of bitterness in me. I had a lot of frustration in me. And I had to release that. I had to release all of it. And, when you're going through a process, you don't release everything at once. You release it piece by piece. And I had to release piece by piece of the struggles that I had when I was in this abusive relationship. I had to release pieces of it and talk about it until I was able to be delivered from that part of the abusive relationship. The sexual part, I couldn't yet talk to no one about because there was such a shamefulness about me that I held about me. And I just couldn't talk about the sexual part. But I talked about the name calling, the negative words. And I talked about that, and I wanted to be able to get past that. So I knew I had to talk to someone about it. And so I made that step to go talk to somebody in regards to how I was mentally abused by words that were spoken constantly to me and about me. And I didn't want to hold on to that anymore, that because it was bitterness. I was very bitter. And even though I may have smiled a lot, talked to you, and you looked at me as being very happy, but inside I knew I was not happy. I had this mask on, a happy mask, that I looked like I was happy. I laughed a lot, but I didn't expose the crying part of me. I kept that mask on because I wasn't ready to expose everything that happened to me. So I took pieces and bits and talked about it. When I talked about the negative words, how I was cussed out, how I was put down all the time. And I had to rebuild myself up, to encourage myself. And I would talk to my friend and I would say, how do you get over when you're talked about all the time, made fun of, and called names? How do you get over that? What do you do? What do you say? How do you come out of that negative attitude that you have about yourself? How do you come out of that? And I had to talk about it in order to release it. Because if I didn't talk about it, I wasn't going to be able to be delivered from it. So I knew that once I started saying, the name calling, how do you get past that? That's part of the process that I was talking about. It's something that you have to talk about it. May not do it every day, but you need to talk about it to somebody once a week, once a month or whatever, talk about the first part. How do I get over um, once I was called I'm ugly? How do I get over that? Because whenever I looked in the mirror, that's all I seen, ugly. I couldn't see beautiful. I couldn't see pretty. I just seen ugly. And that's what I call myself, ugly. How do you get past that? You have to reverse those words that were spoken over you. You can't rehearse that word, calling yourself ugly and thinking that you're getting past it, because you're not. What you're doing is building that the words, you're making them get bigger and bigger. But you have to do a daily thing of getting up saying, this is a new day. Thank God for a new day. If you have to hear yourself encourage your children, that helps. Tell your kids, well, you're looking mighty nice today. You're so pretty, you're so beautiful, I would tell my son, you're so handsome. Tell my girls, you're so pretty. I would encourage them. If I would go out and see somebody, I saw you looking nice today. Have a great day. Enjoy the day. It's going to be a good day. I had to keep hearing those words. Because if I kept hearing, you're nobody, if I kept telling myself that you're nobody, you're nothing, I was going to exactly be that nobody, nothing. But I had to hear myself encouraging other people to be able to encourage me. Sometimes you have to hear yourself saying those words to somebody else, another young lady. Well, how are you doing today? You're blessed. You look blessed. Enjoy the day. This is a good day. Today is going to be a good day. Enjoy. You have to say that to somebody else, because you're saying those words out. You're hearing those words and you're listening and you're saying, well, yes, I'm going to have a good day. I'm beautiful. Today's going to be a good day. And once you hear that and hear that and hear that, it's like it's wiping away the ugly words, the disrespectful words, the hateful words. It's slowly taking that there rugged stone. Like when you have, when I was in school, we worked on wood, and we had sandpaper. You sand the wood to smooth it out. And that's what you have to do when you were in a relationship, abusive relationship, and you had negative words. You was talked about all the time. You have to sand and take that their sanding paper, keep rubbing and rubbing and rubbing and rubbing those negative words out that you heard about yourself. And once you feel that smoothness coming to that wood, because you're constantly putting that sandpaper on, getting the rough edges off of it. And those rough edges was those negative words you heard all the time about yourself. You use that sandpaper, and that sandpaper is those positive words. You got to sand off, scrub off those negative words, and then when you start feeling the smoothness of this here wood, them are the positive words coming forth from you sanding off, scrubbing off those negative words. So you got to constantly use, in order for that wood to get smooth, you can't just do it one time. You got to constantly, use that sandpaper and scrub and scrub and scrub until it is smooth, that there's no pieces sticking up that you get a splinter. So you have to constantly say those words. Today's going to be a good day. Today I'm going to have a good day. And then when you hear the back of your mind say something negative, get that sandpaper back out and start, scrubbing that wood again. Put the positive words on that wood. Take them negative words and scrub them off, and then place the negative words with, I'm going to have a good day. Encourage somebody else will help you encourage yourself. Speaking positive to somebody else will help you speak will help you speak positive to yourself. Getting up in the morning, saying, looking in the mirror and say, this is going to be a different day. This is going to be a great day. This is going to be a positive day. You got to do that every day in order to come against those bad words that were spoken over you. Get up every day. I had to get up every day. I had to get up and look in the mirror and say, today is going to be a good day. Today's going to be different. Today I'm going to have a nice time. Today I'm going to enjoy life. Today I'm going to do something to encourage somebody. I'm going to say something to encourage somebody. I might even take somebody out to lunch to help somebody. And if you're doing that, you're building somebody else up. You're eventually building yourself up because you're hearing those positive words and you're seeing yourself helping somebody else. And you may not even realize, you may not even know that they're going through something. Even a smile can build somebody up. Smile brings forth another smile. Smile at somebody. And see, sometimes when, you smile at somebody or, just laugh. Look at a show on TV, um, comical show, and let yourself hear some laughter. Hear yourself laugh. Laughter is good for healing also. Start laughing. You can heal yourself with laughing. And when you cry, you're crying and you're releasing things that the words you heard. You release those words, you cry, and then go watch a funny show so you can start laughing to heal that damaged part. That's why the Lord gave us tear ducts to release, because if you don't release, it's working on your body. Sickness. It's working on your body. Heart attack, strokes, stress, depression, hate, bitterness, anger, frustration, jealousy. So that's why it's good to, if you have to say little by little to get release from the anger, if you have to say, I'm mad, I'm angry, I'm bitter because what he said to me, what he said about me, I hate that. I sometimes hate myself. Get that out. Vent. It's good to vent to somebody that we're willing to allow you to vent. And that's, sometimes, I would listen to other women. I would allow them to vent. I wouldn't sit there and judge them when they start, yelling or screaming or crying. I knew they had to get this off of them. And sometimes you got to get things off of you. If it means that you are crying, yelling, screaming, or whatever, release it. Once you release it, sit there and just take deep breaths. Think about it. And you can feel yourself being released from certain things. And once I start releasing that part about the name calling, how I was, my self esteem, I didn't have any because I was talked about, cussed at, cussed out. I could talk about that. I could talk about, being hit, being slapped, being knocked down, being kicked. I could talk about that. But the sexual abuse, I was so shameful that I kept telling myself, you allowed it to happen. And if you ever tell anybody, they're going to say the same thing. So that, I kept that sexual abuse part hidden. It wasn't helping that I wasn't releasing, but I didn't know how. I was too afraid to let someone know that, because I consider myself nasty. That was nasty, that what I allowed him to do and what I did to him. I didn't feel comfortable talking to nobody about that. So I talked about the mental and the physical abuse, but I didn't talk about the sexual abuse. That took some time. But I had to talk about the mental abuse, the words. I had to talk about that. And that was sort of easy because it wasn't something that I would consider, you know, nasty. It was just words. And words can be just as bad as a sexual abuse because it's destroying you, literally destroying you. So that I had to take them baby steps to talk about the physical and mental abuse. I had to do the baby steps. But once I got to that part where I could talk about the name calling, I felt more at ease in myself, in my spirit. But I knew eventually one day I would have to talk about the sexual abuse. But I had to build up enough of courage to be able to do that. Because that part was not the easiest part to talk to anybody about. Exposing yourself, what happened to you sexually, that wasn't something I wanted anybody to find out. So I had to get to that point of talking about the sexual abuse. I was never asked, was I ever sexually abused? Because I believe if I was ever asked, was I sexually abused, I probably would have said no. Because I was ashamed. Probably said no. That never, no. I was just, talked about, cussed out, hit, slapped. I was too ashamed. But God knew all about it. So I'm just letting you know, little bit at a time. Don't try to come forth with all of it, little bit at a time. And once you can feel comfortable in giving out more, then give out more. And you will be able to talk about the sexual abuse because I was able to talk about it. I talk about it now because I'm not ashamed anymore. Because I know somebody else have been through it, is going through it. So I'm not ashamed about what happened anymore because I got healed. And I'm here to tell you, you can do it because I did it. So I hope I said something to help you, to have you keep listening. I want to be able to hear some woman or know that some woman got delivered and set free from an abusive relationship. So remember, God loves you and so do I. Be blessed. Enjoy your day.